What's up guys, Andre here, and today I'd like to take a look at the Laravel Websockets package. This is going to be a part of my premium course, so if you like this video, definitely sign up at usefullaravelpackages.com. Alright, so let's take a look at this Laravel Websockets package. It was created by two very well-known package authors in the Laravel community, Freek from Spatie and Marcel from beyondcode. Between them, they have hundreds of very useful Laravel packages, and this one is no different. So if you've ever used WebSockets to create real-time features in your app, you've probably used Pusher before. Pusher is a third-party service that hosts and manages all of your WebSocket servers. They are a wonderful service, and I currently use them on a few projects. They also have a free tier for up to 100 concurrent users. So this Laravel WebSockets package is a replacement for Pusher, and it's written in PHP. So if you don't want to use an external service or you need more than 100 concurrent users, you can definitely make use of this package. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the demo they have here, which I've forked and cloned down to my local machine. And it is a chat application, which is sort of the classic example when you're working with WebSockets. After that, we'll convert one of my apps that uses Pusher to use this package instead. And then after that, we'll look at pushing one of these apps to production using Laravel Forge. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions down here. So I already cloned it. Let's composer install. Okay, let's copy the environment file, cp2.env. Sorry, it should be .env.example. Okay, so let's open this up in Sublime. And now let's go to the environment file and just add some stuff here. So make sure to change, sorry, let me make this bigger for you guys. So yeah, make sure you change your app URL. Because if you don't change it, then the stats panel is not going to work. So let's change it to Laravel Websockets demo.test because I'm using Valet here. And let me just quickly change my database. So I already made one. It's called Laravel Websockets demo. And this is root and root. Okay, what's next? Let's go ahead and migrate. So PHP artisan migrate. Did I not save? Oh, sorry, this is the wrong file. Yeah. So this should be the environment file. So let me just back everything out and put it in here. Okay, let's try it again. Cool. What else? Key generate. And it doesn't say in the documentation, but it's also npm install. Okay, let's also compile it down. So npm run dev. Okay, so the last thing to do is to make sure to run the actual WebSocket server. So to do that, there's this WebSockets serve artisan command. Let's do that. And later on, we'll take a look at how to do this on the server. So now it is running a WebSocket server on port 6001. And let's see if this works. So I'm going to open this. It's Laravel Websockets demo.test. Okay, so I'm going to make two users here so we can see them chatting with one another. So let me just quickly make two users.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now I have two users. Let me log in as one of them, and then we'll open a incognito window, and then we'll log in as the other one. Okay, so you can see the chat window here, and you can see the user logged in here. So this means it works, and we have presence channels working. So I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to open an incognito window and log in as the other user. Put it to the side. Let me just grab this. And I'm going to log in. Okay. Let's log in. And there you go. You can see two users here. And as you expect, if I type here, you can see Andre's typing here because this one's logged in as Andre, send, and there you go. Your typical chat application, but we're using this Laravel WebSockets package to host our own WebSockets server. Awesome. So if you look at the server running, you can see all the payloads being sent and received here, but there's also a way to look at the stats and everything going through using the backend or the stats dashboard. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so let's go to debug dashboard. And I think the default location is here, Laravel WebSockets. So let me open a new tab here and just go to Laravel WebSockets. Okay. And make sure to select the app here and then connect. And there we go. Here are some nice stats about the connections, the messages that are going through here. And here you can see all the messages that are being passed through. So if I type here, you'll see messages going through there. And you can also send in a payload manually here if you like. Okay, so let's take a look at this other app that I built a while ago, which makes use of real-time notifications using Pusher. So I wanted a real-time order tracker similar to what Domino's has, and this is what I came up with. So definitely check out that video if you want to know how to use Laravel Echo and Pusher and View together, along with Laravel and broadcasting and all that stuff. And right now it's using Pusher. Let me show you. So right here is an order placed, and over here, if I change the order, you'll see 3 notifications happen here when I press update status. So there you go. You see this progress bar move up, you see this flash message, and you see this notification appear. And yeah, I want to change this to use the Laravel Websocket Server instead of Pusher. So let's go ahead and check out the documentation. There's documentation here for Pusher replacement. Okay, so this is already set because this is the same process for using Pusher. Okay, I think we have to go to the installation to do this. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's start from the top. Let's do this. Composer require. Actually, I'm gonna make a branch here. Laravel WebSockets. And I spelled that wrong. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to composer require it. Okay, what's next? We have to publish the migrations. Let's do that. Okay, we have to migrate. Okay, and we have to publish the config. Cool. Okay, what else? Okay, that's just information about the config, which we'll take a look at later on. Okay, so now we can go to Pusher replacement. Okay, so all this stuff is done already. So now we have to add a few new options here in the config broadcasting. So let's do that. So config broadcasting. I'm sorry, this is the wrong app. Let me open this in Sublime. Okay, config broadcasting. And what do I have to change? Okay, we have to add the host and port in this options section. So right here. Okay, so let's add the scheme as well. So I'm going to do host, port, and scheme. And let's paste that in. Let's just align this. Okay. And I'm also going to change encrypted to false for now, and then we'll change that later on when we put it on the server. Okay, what else? Okay, there's also that config, but I think this is default. Yeah, I think we can just leave that. And we have to change some stuff in Laravel Echo as well. Okay, so let's go to Laravel Echo. That would be in Bootstrap.js. And let's take a look down here. What do we have to add? We have to add, what do we have? We have broadcaster key, cluster, encrypted. Okay, so let's add these. And let's also change encrypted to false for now. Let's add these. Okay. And I think that's it. Yeah, so let's recompile this. npm run dev. And I'm going to run the WebSocket server. So PHP artisan WebSockets serve. If I could spell. Okay, it's running. And let's see if this still works. So I'm going to refresh, hard refresh. And I'm going to hard refresh this side. And see if, so we see that. And it looks like it does work because we're getting this information. And if I change this to bake, hopefully this will change. And it does. And now we're making use of the WebSocket server. So you can see that it is a good replacement for Pusher and not too much work to do if you already have an app using Pusher. And again, there's a backend if you want to check out all the messages going through and all the stats. Laravel WebSockets. And the name of the app is called Laravel. And there you go. Looks good. So if I change this again, you'll see some messages go through there. There you go. Just to prove to you that it is no longer using Pusher and using this. Okay, now let's see how we can use this WebSocket server on a real server. So I've already done some prep work and deployed this website to a real site. So I'm using the Laravel e-commerce example.ca domain because I already have control of that and I already have a demo app running there. And the only thing I've done is added 2 users, exactly like how I did with the first demo. So obviously this is not going to work yet because there's no socket server running. So if I open up DevTools, you'll see an error message here saying WebSocket connection cannot be established. So let's do it manually first and just run the PHP artisan WebSocket server command on the server. So right now I'm SSH into the server. So let's try doing that. PHP artisan WebSocket serve. Okay, so let's see if we still get this error. The WebSocket server is still running and I still can't seem to get a connection. So let me try to log in. Let's try user@user.com, password. And yeah, it's still not working. So yeah, the problem here is this port is not open by default. And this took me forever to figure out. So what you have to do is open that port up to the public. So if you go into Forge, and if you go into the server, which in my case it's Laravel e-commerce, there's a section here for network. And here is where you can set a new firewall rule. As you can see, these ports are open already. And I'm going to make a new one for, it's called socket 6001, port 6001, and add rule. And now that should work. So let me just, let's see if I refresh this, see if it works. And let's restart let me log out here. Hard refresh. And I'm going to restart the WebSocket server. Let's run it again. And let's refresh this. Let me try logging in again. And no, it still doesn't work. So So what I want to see is my name show up here, and that means it's working. It's still not working. So yeah, I had tons of trouble with this because I'm not that great with servers. So let me try clearing the cookies here. Let me just remove all of them. And I'm going to refresh. And that seems to have done it. I don't see any errors here anymore. I mean, there's this error, but that's something else. So let me try logging in now. I'm going to do user@user.com, password. And there you go. So that seems to have worked. And I can see this. And let's do another test. And let's do that split screen thing. And I am going to log in as the other user. And there you go. This should now work. Let me chat with myself here. Andre is the best. And it did not pick it up here. What happened here? Let's refresh both. Let's try from here first. Okay, so I'm getting errors, as you can see. I think this has to do with, right now there's no encryption, which we'll take a look at in a second, but I think it's set to true. I set it to false in the second example I did, but I think the demo has it set to true. So this is not the one. Let me open this again. Laravel Websockets demo. And let's see, config, I think broadcasting. Okay, so let's set this to false. And also in Bootstrap.js, is there an encrypted? Okay, so encrypted is not set here. So I'm going to put it here and set it to false. And then when we make it encrypted later, we'll set it to true. Encrypted false. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the issue. So let me npm run dev this again. And I'm going to push it. Oops. And sorry, I'm going to commit it. Encryption, encrypted, false. And I think I have auto deploy on. So let me just wait a few seconds and then we'll try again.
A few moments later.
Okay, let's try this again. So I am going to go here. Let's restart the server. Yeah, I'm going to restart this. Okay. Now refresh. Let me log out and try again. Log out here too. And a hard refresh. Okay. And let's try again. User@user.com, password. Okay, so presence channel still works. So the WebSocket connection works. Let's see if we actually can get the chat working. Okay, this side does not work. Let me redo that. So yeah, this took me so long to figure out, like I said, but hopefully we can get it working. Okay, so now WebSockets works. Let's see if the actual chat works. Please work. And now it works. There you go. Awesome. And let's try it the other way. There you go. And this chat actually persists because it's stored in the database. So if I refresh this, it's still there. Refresh this, it's still there. Cool. Okay, so now, obviously, you don't want to manually have to do this every time. You want this PHP Artisan WebSocket Serve to always be running. So if you look at the documentation, there's a section for starting the WebSocket server and keeping the socket server running with supervisor. So let's go ahead and get this working. So I'm going to stop this, and you should have supervisor installed already. It should come with Forge, but to do which supervisor D to check. And if not, you can install it using this command. And you can follow these instructions here. So it says to go into this directory, etc supervisor. So let's do that. Supervisor. And there's a default config file here, which we'll leave. But we have to add our own config file within the conf.d directory called websockets.conf, and we want to put this in there. So I'm going to do that. So let's go into conf.d, and let's make that new file. It's called websockets.conf. So touch sockets.conf. And we have to do this at root using the root user. So we have to sudo, I'll just do sudo bang bang. Okay, and let me just paste in my password. Okay, and let's go ahead and edit that. So vim websockets.conf. Okay, so I'm just going to paste in, oh, it's read only. I have to sudo vim it. So again, sudo bang bang. Okay, so I'm copying this, and I'm going to paste it in here. And that did not paste correctly. Let me try that again. Okay. So let me change the user to Forge. And let me change, so this is the PHP command, that's fine. And let me change the directory here. So it's going to be home forge chat.laravel e-commerce example.ca and artisan WebSocket Server. Okay, so that looks good. Let me save that and quit. Okay. And let me go back home. Okay, so this is the directory I just put in there. Hopefully I typed it right. And what else do we have to do? Okay, it says once created, instruct supervisor to reload the configuration file. So we can do this. I think I have to do sudo again. Okay, and then I have to restart it using this. Sudo. Okay, so it says it's already started. And you can check what's running using this command. So the status command, I think you have to use sudo for that as well. And you can see our WebSockets config running. So we should be good to go. This app should still work now. But now we don't have to manually run the PHP Artisan WebSocket serve, and this supervisor should always have it running. Even if it crashes, it's going to try to restart it again. Okay, so let me just log out just to make sure. Refresh, and let's log in. And it doesn't seem to work again. Let me close this one. Let me try clearing the cookies again. Let's remove. Hard refresh. Log in again. And now it works. Cool. You can see the presence channel there. And just another sanity check. Again, this testing can get quite cumbersome, but we got to make sure it works. Okay, so it does work. Cool. Okay, so now let's work on making our WebSocket server encrypted. So just like our web server, we want to make sure that everything is encrypted. So let me just close this, and let me log out of this, and let me make it full screen, and let me clear the cookies again. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add HTTPS for our web server. So I'm going to go into Forge, and let's go into Chat, and let's do SSL, and let's just add a Let's Encrypt certificate, and this should work in a few seconds. Okay, so that's done. If I go here, this should be HTTPS now. Cool, and it is. So for our WebSocket server, there is a section here on Ssl Support. So I'm going to do it this way. There's also a way to use a reverse proxy like Nginx, but I got it working this way, so we'll stick to this. So what we have to do is go into our config WebSockets file and add the local certificate and the local private key. So if you go back into Forge, we'll see a path here, which we can copy. I think it's copied. Is it copied? Okay, it is. So that's the, sorry, what was I doing? Yeah, so what I copied is the local cert. So let me just go into there and show you. So if I do cd into here, let me just go into the directory. Then there are two files. The server.crt is going to be the local cert, and the key is the private key. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go into WebSockets, config WebSockets, I guess. And let's add that. Where is it? Down here? Yeah, right here. So I'm just going to paste that in. So this one is the local cert, and this one's going to be server.key. Okay. Okay, so what else do I have to do? So let's make sure to restart our WebSocket server. So I'll do that after I push the code to the server. Okay, so now the client config. Now we have to change encrypted to true. So let's do that. So I'm going to do bootstrap.js. Change this to true. And I think I also have to add a WebSocket secure port like this. And it's also 6001. Let me save that. That says WSS port. Yeah, it says down here. It's in the section with usage with Laravel Valet, but when I was trying everything, I had to add that. Okay. So now for the server config, in config broadcasting. So broadcasting, let's change encrypted to true. And it's saying change the scheme to HTTPS. And I think that's it. Okay. So yeah, let me save that. Let me recompile npm run dev. And let me just push this. Encrypted true. And let's push this. Okay, and now I'm gonna just do a supervisor ctl reload to reload the WebSocket server. I might have to do a sudo. And let me just paste my password in. Okay, so let's check if it's running. Okay, it is. And let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, I might have to change one more thing, so we'll see. So let me just try logging in. And it doesn't seem to work. The presence channel is not there, and we're getting this WebSocket closed connection. Okay, so let me try clearing the cookies one more time. If that doesn't work, I think I know what I'm missing. Log in one more time. Okay, so that doesn't work. Let me log out again. Sorry for all this repetitiveness, but for like the third time, I'm not the greatest with servers. You don't want to know how long this took me to get working, but okay, so I think the error is, or what you have to change is here in the host. So I'll just leave this here. I'll duplicate it, but I'll comment that out. Since it's running on a subdomain, I have to specify the subdomain instead of 127.0.0.1. So chat.laravel e-commerce example.ca. And when I did this before, this did the trick. So let's hope this works. So I'm going to commit this. Encrypted set. What I set, the host. Yeah. Okay. Push. Let me refresh this. Let's log in and let's see if this works. Okay, I'm getting that WebSocket error again. Let's clear this one more time. Refresh. Log in. And no, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, so it seems to be working now. I just kept playing around. I cleared the cookies. I restarted the WebSocket server using this command. And it seems to work. You can see the presence channel working, so that should mean that it works. So I'm going to do this again and double check. And let's log in as the other user. And let's see if everything's working. Okay, so there's two users, and let's see if the messages go through. Encrypted. There we go. So now we have our WebSocket server encrypted, and everything should be good to go in production. So yeah, I'll leave this chat app running for now, as long as there's no issues. I'm going to maybe add a few more accounts. So if you guys want to try the chat, you guys can do this. And I will also maybe run a cron job so it clears out the database every night or something like that. So yeah, just visit this URL. If it's still running, I'll leave it in the description below if it is still running. And yeah, I'll try to keep it open just so you can have a feel of it working. So there you have it, guys. We managed to take a look at this Laravel WebSockets package to run our own WebSocket server. Definitely a great alternative to Pusher if you don't want to rely on a third party for your WebSockets. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.